Well, thank you for staying with us. There are more than 1.4 million youth caregivers from the ages of 8 to 18 in the United States. Sharks Youth is a program aiming to bring awareness to youth caregivers and providing them the tools, the resources, and the foundation of knowledge needed to successfully balance life as an adolescent, student, as well as a caregiver. And here now to give us more information is the founder and executive director of Caregivers Outreach Mentorship Program, Ms. Diane Cooper, and Youth Sharks members, Vianney and Brianna. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having us.
Good. So talking about being a youth caregiver, and talk a little bit about this program, because it's very interesting to hear, when we hear about caregivers, sometimes we don't always associate youth as being caregivers.
Exactly. So as you all know, that some of us are caregivers for maybe a parent or a loved one, but to think of a 13, 14-year-old, even 8-year-old caring for a loved one, running home to do an insulin injection or to help with a colostomy or to help someone get out of bed, that's very traumatic. I am a caregiver for over 10 years for my husband, and I do have some traumatic moments. So imagine children taking on a responsibility that an adult would take on. So what we have done is we've developed a model. It's a model, and it's assisting youth caregivers to get through their roles of being a caregiver, a youth, and also being a student in school.
So Vianney, tell a little about what you do.
Well, basically, I take care of my I've taken care of my great grandmother, and I currently take care of my mom. I help her out, and my grandma who has a heart condition. And I also go to school, so it's like a lot of responsibility to take on, and a lot of people don't understand that as a youth caregiver.
Mm-hmm. And Brianna, for you?
Yeah, so I take care of my grandmother. She has asthma and like other medical conditions. And I also take care of my little sisters because my mom also helps with like taking care of my grandmother when obviously I'm not in school. So like I kind of have to balance like going to school in a different borough and then coming back doing like all the work that I need to do and succeeding.
Right. So what's the message that you give in order to help them? Because obviously they're dealing with a lot of challenges in life already. This is an added one. So how do you go about helping them make the adjustment?
Well, we want youth caregivers to realize that they are not alone. We want them to realize that there are other youth that are doing the same things that they're doing. And this is what's so good about the program, because they are around other youth who are youth caregivers. We don't want them to feel isolated. We want to make sure that they do build a relationship of support, hopefully within their school, within their community, among us, among ourselves as we're communicating with each other. We actually want to advocate for youth caregivers. We want to advocate for youth caregivers. We want to educate the public, the community, doctors about the roles and needs of youth caregivers, and hopefully come up with programs and more activities for youth caregivers as a supportive method of supporting them.
What's it like for you guys knowing that you have somebody that's kind of like in the same boat?
Well, it actually feels good because I would go to school and I'll be really exhausted, and it's hard to explain to somebody why you're so tired all the time. So it's like when you meet someone who's doing the same thing as you, you're like, oh, hey, I do that too. Like, it feels nice.
And also, before you wouldn't have thought like that the girl next door was going through the same thing as you did. Like me and Vianney, we went to the same middle school, but like we never interacted. We just saw each other in the hallway. So like when we saw each other in the same group, we were like, oh, it's like you don't know what's going through like the basis of his person. So.
Right. So you've got a symposium coming up, right? That's going to be actually helping out and giving some assistance to those?
Yes, so like I said, Shock is just a model. It's one youth care initiative, and the other initiatives that we do the game day, we do the family day, we do Purple Day. There's all kinds of little initiatives that we do. So the symposium that's coming up on April the 9th, we're gathering social workers, doctors, teachers. We're all coming together to just elevate the awareness about youth caregiving and come up with support services that are not available and support services that are available, so that teachers and doctors can go back and take it back to their community, to their practice, in order to help youth caregivers.
And so we want to tell people that you can get more information. We'll tell you about that in a little bit, about the Youth Caregivers Symposium. And there's an initiative. I mean, you guys are really trying to go forward and send a message out to let people know. So what is this program meant for you?
Well, to me, it means that basically you're not alone. Like, we give back and we have fun. Mm-hmm. Like, we learn that it's okay to make time for you. That it's not you're not a burden.
Selfish,
you're not being selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also we learn about other like mental illnesses and like other conditions. So we understand that if we meet someone who comes across those certain things, that we know how to help them. Like we had a workshop on depression and anxiety, and it really like helps you understand what a person is going through while you're simultaneously like having like a good time with someone that you know.
And Diane, I don't want to overlook the statistic. When I first started, I said 1.4 million young people are actually serving as caregivers right now.
Nationwide, exactly. And, you know, the last research that was done on youth caregivers was back in 2013 or something like that, if not even further than that. And we have no research here in the New York State area on youth caregivers as far as like how many youth caregivers are in the Bronx. We don't even know that. So that's one of the things that we're advocating for, to get some more research to see exactly how many youth caregivers exist in our borough, in our community, in our district, in our schools, so that we can provide them with the services that they need. So we're trying to bring them out of the shadows.
Right. What are one of the challenges that you have as a youth caregiver? I should say, right? What are the challenges that you have that maybe we don't know about?
It's a lot, because it's like, how can I focus on two things at one time? I have to go to school, and not just go to school, but practice, then you have to go home and do homework, you have to take care of somebody. It's a lot to carry on.
Right.
And it's like you have to focus on your grades to do well, to be somebody eventually, to be successful. And it's like, eventually it'll pay off, but it's like a lot to hold on to as a teenager. It's like really hard, because college is right around the corner.
Right, right. Brianna, for you?
Probably like the same thing, but I know for a fact that my grandmother, like, she wants to see me become successful, and the whole reason why I'm taking care of her is because I want her to see me grow into the person that like will somehow like change the world for a better place, even if it's just helping her or like my little sisters.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Diane, I guess you got to feel great to be.
I'm very proud of them.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that they came into the program, 6th, 7th grade, and they're going on to 11th, 12th grade. One person's
Wow.
going on to college. So I'm very, very proud of them.
That's awesome. That's
You know?
awesome. So 4 years you guys have been doing just about?
More than that,
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, keep up the great work.
Yeah.
And these are the success stories. I want everyone to know that there are youth caregivers that these are the success stories. There are caregivers who do not, get to this level that they are. You know what I'm saying? There's challenges that most of them have, but I thank God that going through the program, I'm hoping that was some kind of a help as for them to get through to where they are today.
Thank you. Brianna, thank you so much for coming to share. Keep up the great work, okay? Diane, thank you. Great work doing.
Thank you.
All righty, listen. Youth Caregiver Symposium, if you're interested, it's taking place. Yes, it's taking place on Thursday, April the 9th from 11 to 3 at 120 East Gun Hill Road. Now, if you want more information, you can visit this website at sharksyouth.org or on Instagram at sharks_youth. And we encourage you, please don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to learn about an event empowering Black culture. So stay tuned. That's coming up right after this.